Shields up, Paladins, and welcome to a For Honor Hero Guide. As you can tell by the title of this video, I will be talking to you all about the Kyoshin and how I like to use this particular character. The Kyoshin is one of the hybrid characters within the Samurai faction. He has a hard difficulty rating, as well as he is a counter-attacker, but he is also highly defensive as well. His base stats or his health is set to 120, his stamina is set to 120, and his sprint speed is set to 7.5 milliseconds. With all this being said and done, let's go ahead and jump right on over to his feats. His tier 1 feats are Kagero, which is a passive ability. Attacks have bleed properties after superior blocking an attack. Iron Lungs, which is a passive ability. You can still sprint when out of stamina. And Speed Revive, which is a passive ability. Rapidly revive fallen teammates. His tier 2 feats are Hikare More, which is a passive ability. Gain health from successful attacks after superior blocking an attack. Arrow Strike, which is call an arrow strike dealing moderate damage over an area. And Smoke Bomb, gain stealth, speed, and an unblockable, while your foes get blind and cannot lock on. His tier 3 feats are Hikare to Kage, which is gain the effects of Kagero and Hikaramore. While active, the duration resets after superior blocking an attack. Tough as Nails, which is a passive ability, which raises max health when unlocked. And Protected Revive, which is another passive ability, but your health grants temporary shield to a revived ally. And finally, for his tier 4, he has Mugen Huyo, which is use heavenly powers to petrify and deal some damage to surrounding enemies. Aerostorm, which is aerial attacks that deal medium damage in multiple areas. And finally, Fear itself, which is nearby enemies have a lower defense. Now for his feats, I pretty much like to use his standard tier 1 feats. The only one that I don't do that with is with his tier 3. I instead of Hikare to Kage, I use Tough as Nails. Tough as Nails, which gives me pretty much a little bit more health on top of everything else. The reason why I don't use the Hikare to Kage is simply because for his tier 1 and 2 feats, you're already using them already. You're only going to be able to pop that, and it only lasts for a short amount of time anyways. So you already have the passive abilities. So in my particular mindset of that is, if I can give myself more health on top of being able to somewhat heal already, then that's going to be better for me in the long run. Because the healing, again, is not that much. The bleed that you put on, again, is not that much either. So I don't really see... it's good to have, do not get me wrong. But it's also, I don't see a point in having 3 of his feats tied to basically to passive abilities that simply evolve around superior blocking. So that's just kind of the mindset that I was in for that. His tier 4, I love his tier 4, and that's going to be one that I'm going to constantly keep using, because you can counter, you can combo into a lot of different things with that, as in the Warmonger's corruption with her tier 4, maybe even the Jormungandr's Ragnarok whenever he or she has to hit some people. Again, that's just extra damage for you as well as your team. You're able to kind of capitalize on top of all that. So for the perks, I would set him up with Devour, Endurance, and Headhunter. Again, you get more health whenever you execute or kill an enemy. For Devour, Endurance, you just get that stamina reduction cost. And then for Headhunter, you're getting a little bit more health on top of that. So pretty much you're just trying to make yourself more self-sustained. And that's what I really, really enjoy about all this. So Now, with all that being said and done, let's go ahead and jump right on over to the hero tactics. Now, I'm going to talk about the hero-specific moveset, what's tied to the Kyoshin, but up on screen right now, you're going to see what the hero tactics wants to teach you about the character and the type of combos and type of moves that they want you to start using. So, with all being said and done, so of course, Renown, you're a hybrid. Renown is balanced across all activities. It doesn't matter what you do. You're going to get Renown for it. Revenge mode, of course, as we all know, boosts damage and health. All attacks are uninterruptible. Parries and throws knock enemies down, and attacks are auto-parried on activation. Your defense is a static, so your god remains active in the direction you designate when performing a dodge. So, going into more of the hero-specific stuff, so you have a superior block light opener. So light chain openers have superior block properties during the startup, causing the attack to become a crushing counter. That's more of like the Highlander or the Warden, if you will, which is unblockable and increased damage. If successful at blocking an attack, will counter that attack. So undodgeable finishers, chain finishers have undodgeable properties. Chain starters, and excuse me, I'm going to butcher these names quite bad. Yakfu, Hajifu, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, to count as all chain openers, thus can lead into either a chain finisher or an Arashi. Again, I do apologize for this. I'm going to butcher all these names real bad. So Sergeant Arashi, if Sergeant Arashi lands, it can be followed up with a light or heavy chain opener with a light attack being guaranteed. So the Arashi, which is after an opener attack, you can perform a scabbard attack by inputting square on the PS4 or PS5. That will deal stamina damage and knock back the target. If the Arashi lands, it can be followed up with an Arashi follow-up light that is guaranteed or a heavy finisher. The Kaze stance. While holding down on the right analog stick, the Kyoshin will enter a stationary full block stance in the form of the Kaze stance. Although stamina is not consumed upon entering, and while holding the stance, stamina regeneration will be paused. Kyoshin will not be able to move or counter guard break while in this stance, but will have the access to special attacks. So fast flow into Kaze stance, and fast flow into Kaze stance after using an attack, except bashes, Kaze attacks, and Fujin cuts, or during blocks done by holding down the right analog stick during the recovery. Kaze attacks. While performing the Kaze stance, you can perform one of three attacks. The Kaze, the Tengu Kaze, and again, Mujinono Kaze. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Each of these attacks come from a different guard direction, respectively coming from the right, top, and left side. On top of this, the Tengu Kaze is unblockable and feintable. Superior block Kaze attacks. Upon performing a successful superior block with a Kaze stance, Kaze attacks will be enhanced. Tengu Kaze will become much faster and undodgeable. Hakaze and the Mujo Kaze will become slightly faster and undodgeable as well. The Kaze attack feints. While Hakaze and Mujo Kaze cannot be feinted, Tengu Kaze can. However, Tengu Kaze cannot be feinted if it is done as a superior block Kaze attack. So now you have your Kaze attacks into your Fujin cuts. So after successfully landing a Kaze attack, you can follow up with Fujin cuts, where you can input up to 3 light attacks for guaranteed damage. Fujin cuts attacks require proper timing to perform. If performed too slowly or too quickly, the inputs will not register. Think of the Peacekeeper stab for that. So now you got the Kaze attacks into Fusion Force. So after the Kaze attacks, even on a miss, input R2 to perform a Fusion Force. Fusion Force is an unfaithful heavy attack that has superior all block during its startup, becoming unblockable upon successful blocking an attack. And then finally, Fusion Force alternate. Fusion Force can be performed after the first or second attack of the Fusion Cuts. However, Fusion Force will end Fusion Cuts. So hopefully I answered a lot of questions, comments, concerns with pretty much everything about the Kyoshin. One of the ways that I like to use him is, again, pretty much as you're seeing in this video, that don't be right up in their face. Kind of, use his kit to his advantage. Almost kind of think of this character as the Black Prior plus the Aramusha combined. That's kind of the feel that I got with him. One of the things is that a lot of people are disliking his damage, and one of the things that I have to say is that is quite fine in my opinion. I feel like this particular character is actually very well balanced compared to the characters that we've actually received in the past on launch day for them. And also, I would say the actual difficulty rating of this character actually matters, because I do feel like there is a pretty big learning curve with this particular character as well. So that was quite a surprise to me, because normally once you see hard, you're like, meh, alright, whatever. But in this particular case, it actually meant hard, because it did take me several days to get used to this character and just how he performs, the ins and outs and stuff like that. But once you get the hang of him, unlike every other character out there, once you get the hang of him, you're pretty much becoming a menace with that particular character, and it's great to have as well. So hopefully I answered a lot of questions, comments, concerns with this particular character. If I did, go ahead and drop a like on the video, but also if I missed something, go ahead down in the comments down below. Let me know. Maybe there's a couple things that you like to do a little bit differently with them, or maybe there's things you like or don't like about this particular character. All comments are welcomed, and I enjoy reading them. So thank you all, and I'll see you in the next video.